power of the main body heals the body. And it does that the other way. Look, and then lightning flies out of your fingernails. I'll move this. I'll poke you right down. Another beer, you won't care anyway. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The power of the main body heals the body. Okay, that was a good start. Okay, so I want animation in this. I want you to feel like you're grinding coffee. If you find the person next to you isn't like getting animated enough, you can give them a little boost. Okay, watch it there. Count of 3, right? 1, 2, 3. The power of the main body heals the body. Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Sit down. We call this Spizz night because BJ used to say that Spizz was that extra excitement you have about the tick. The tick. In chiropractic, what is a tick? Is that the innate part of chiropractic? The tick, 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 tick. The tor is the one that releases the tick. So you can be a chiropractor because you release the tick in chiropractic. And you got Spizz because you're full of energy. You're yeah, this is it. You know, this is it. You know, you make a difference. What's your name?
Paul.
Paul?
Yeah.
You make the difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does.
You make the difference.
Ooh, you make the difference.
Ho!
You!
Hey!
All right.
You make a difference.
You make a difference.
You make the difference. You make a difference.
You make a difference.
You make a difference.
You make a difference.
Now, the thing is, just because you're alive, you make a difference. You know that? Mm-hmm. If you do nothing, you make a difference. But then, at the end of the evening, when you go to bed at night, you get to choose, am I happy with the difference I made? Kind of, isn't that right? This was interesting. We're talking about making a difference, and I was at Life Force last time, and there was this young girl. She gets up and she said, she was listening to the speakers, and she said, we live a chiropractic lifestyle. She's from Colorado. Some of you were there when she was talking, and she said, I have our babies at home. Wow, that's pretty good. So I went up to her afterwards, and I says, really makes me feel good they had your baby at home. Because back in 1960, nobody had babies at home. But I chose to have our baby at home. And all the chiropractors thought I was nuts. So we had our children at home. We went out, went to the chiropractic colleges, explaining how you have babies at home. Because I remember at obstetrics, there was a whole paragraph how you do it. Woman pushes, you catch, then you get a, like a shoestring, put it on the cord, cut it, and that's it. I said, wow, that's very simple. And it takes care of everything else. But I want to show you about making a difference. Following that, I was on TV and everything else. Ruth and I would be on TV telling people, you can have babies at home and all kind of stuff. But this is synopsis of obstetrics. It's copyrighted 1957. That's the year I started at Palmer. Okay. And here's the interesting thing. Have you ever seen pictures like this of the baby in the around anywhere? And the doctor's delivering the baby like that, huh? When I saw that, I took a picture of it. I started showing my patients this. Then before long, I had other chiropractors that were wanting pictures of it. So I started getting out pictures and started passing them out. Then before long, all these practice management people were selling pictures. This same picture that I took out of the obstetrics book because I wanted to do it for my practice. And what I'm saying, you make a difference if you're willing to step up and start doing something. You may think it's insignificant. I thought it was totally insignificant. I'll show my patients. This is like, why would you want to go to a hospital to have a baby? Looks like they're corkscrewing a bottle of wine. And the thing is like, what's the most delicate part of the baby? The neck? Head and neck. And when you hand a baby to anybody, what do you say? Be careful. Be careful with the head and neck. Yeah. Does the doctor know that there's delicate nerves in the head and neck, evidently? No. And if he can't get out, what's he do? Gets up there like that, and he pushes, and this kid's coming out. See, you make a difference when you decide to speak up. You know, in life, this is what dogs like. Their bone. They like their bone. You know, and if you get around a dog and he has his bone, you daren't take his bone away from him. He'll snap at you. Take that bone. Now, you can beat the dog into submission. That every time he snaps at you, smack him on. So the dog's head is down. Okay? Many of us in life have had our head down because someone smacked at us and we didn't think we made a difference. There's a dream inside each and every one of you. There is. And it needs to be protected just like the dog protects that bone. It's significant. I like to look at that and say, what does that represent? You know, this bone here, who feels powerful enough to stand up and shout out, I am power?
I am power.
I am power.
I am power. I am power.
Okay, the first one's going to get this. Then we'll move to the next one. So I'm going to give you the bone, and I want you to print on here, I am power. And I want you to take it home and think about that. Get the feeling of it. This is my bone in life. Nobody's touching it. Nobody's touching it. I am the power. How about I am focused?
I am focused.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
See?
Oh, yeah.
You know. So there's your bone. I want you to print. I am focused.
Throw me a bone, why don't you?
I throw you a bone. What's your relationship to innate?
I am innate.
I am innate, right? I am innate. There was a little test I was talking to the philosophy instructor at Life about 3 months ago. I wanted to find out where he stood in chiropractic, and I said, what's your relationship to innate? He said, I am innate. And people have a hard time talking like this, and I says, okay, you're okay, you're okay. I want to hear someone say, I am innate.
I am innate.
I want somebody to stand and say,
I'm innate.
gotcha.
Ooh, yeah.
I want you to print that on your bone. What's the thing that connects all of us? Love. Isn't that what binds us together? That's the connection. God is love, right? And why does God love me? Why does God love you? Because God loves itself. What's the major premise in chiropractic?
Universal intelligence exists in all matter, continuously giving to it all its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence.
Excellent. Would you stand up and tell everybody what you just said? I want you to. This is really powerful. Powerful. Belt it out there.
Universal intelligence exists in all things, continuously giving to it, exists in all matter, continuously giving to it all its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence.
Thank you. So, what is the key word that's being used there? All. So, if universal forces exist in all things, gives us all its properties and its actions, how big could that be? And what is my relationship to that? I am innate, this individual expression of this universal force. I am the innate. Now stand up and give me, I am innate.
I am innate.
I am innate.
So we
I
got,
am innate.
okay, see, I got 2 bones here. Yes. Okay, there you go. Over here. And we'll get you. Who's got the felt pens? When B.J. Palmer was nothing but a young lad, he was trying to discover what is that secret thing he needed in life. What is that thing? And he was begging on the streets trying to get something to help people to help him out. And he went through the whole thing as at first you must awaken to the innate that you are. And when you get this and you awaken, you have the vision, confidence to go out and take over the world. But the magic words were, I will, I will, I will. Can anybody give me the I will quickly?
I will.
Standing up.
I will.
Okay, sorry, I only got one. And you already got yours. It says I will on it. So you have to will. Okay? Good. That's the difference. How big it is. We said, what's the theme tonight? It's how chiropractic, how big it is, or how big is it? That's the other thing. It's like, is it something we just talk about?
It's universal.
I mean, this is a tremendous thing. Is it really works. You adjust people, and this wonderful power brings about healing.
That's right.
Changes your life. It's like, wow, this is pretty powerful. And it's interesting how we take it for granted. Did you watch all these people when they run down this pseudo-pandemic they had out there? That they created out of nothing, now it's a monkey. It's just like, I used to drink Corona, I had to quit doing that. Then the Delta had to go. And now I have to get rid of my monkey too. It's like, it's like they're taking everything away, huh? It's like, come on now. See, there's something lost in this translation when we think that everything from the outside comes in and gets us. It's like I'm sleeping with the bedroom window open and that thing just kind of sneaks in there. I remember Reggie Gold used to talk about, he says, wow, he says, this is interesting. You can filter a virus through porcelain. You mentioned porcelain and you can get virus through it. And then you wear a mask that you can see through and the virus can't get through that, all those places. What are they talking about? What I understand is they put the stuff out to the world and people respond to it. What does that mean for us? It means for us to start taking responsibility about what we want to do to make a change in the world, because it's not an outside-in world. It's an above-down, inside-out. What does above-down, inside-out mean? See, it's much bigger. It's this universal power, what we call God, flowing from above, down, through, innate, expressing through our neurology to every tissue cell in the body. And if there's any interference with it, you have less than. If you remove that, you have order back again. And that's the same true to, what about the subluxation that exists above your atlas? What's the world doing subluxating in here, telling you all this stuff? It's just filling you all the time with all this kind of all crap, you know? And before long, you start living this limited life. Instead of from within out, you start living your life from outside in. You know, you have two brains, right?
Yes, sir.
Here. This is educated. This educated brain is for developing tools so that you can live the creative side of yourself. The heart here, same neurology, the brain. It's your connection to the outside world. The spirit comes through, gives you inspiration. This gives you all the tools to express it. Where's your music come from? From within. It comes right from within. You don't get the music here. It comes from within, out. All the great songs, all the literature, all the books, all came from within out. And as ridiculous as it would be, it's like the Wright brothers are discovering the law of aerodynamics. They're over there at Kitty Hawk with their plane. They're trying to get financing. Bank says, I can't give you financing. Something heavier in air can't fly. Seems reasonable. He said, no, I can. It flies. Come out. Kitty Hawk, come out. So the engineers, they sent the engineers out. They watched the plane go. He said, will you give me the money now? He says, no. The engineer, something heavy here can't fly. Has anybody flown on a plane before? Yeah. It's like, you know what? Nobody told the bumblebee it can't fly. So it just flies. Doesn't matter what they say. So it's up to us right now to start listening from within ourselves. What do we want to do? What do we want to create? What do we want to do in this chiropractic field that we're going to be in? Because it's not a job, is it? It's a way of life.
Yes, sir.
I get it to you. How much of a life do you want to live from a chiropractic viewpoint? Do you want to incorporate all of your life? In everything that you do? The things you are? People you associate with? Changes that you want to make in the world right now? You want to bring them along the path like you're living? That's what we want. What's the life force mission? Make sure every man, woman, and child gets a chiropractic adjustment or chiropractic education. They don't have to become a chiropractor. They need to have the knowledge of chiropractic. Isn't that what we want? So that people start thinking a different way. That's pretty big. That's how big the picture is out there. But we get to decide where we want to be in this. So the difference you're making is a choice. So when you go to bed at night, you look back and say, am I happy with the choice that I made? For me, when I sleep at night, I wake up a lot. BJ used to wake up all the time. He had a typewriter with a roll, and he just would get up and start typing it in the paper. He never had to fill the typewriter. He would just keep typing and put all the stuff out there. If you read any of the books of BJ, you said, well, he just rambles and rambles. He's going on and on. That's because he was just busy typing all this. It wasn't educated. It was just pouring out. Do you get these thoughts in the middle of the night? Wakes you up? What do? Do you roll over and go to bed? Or do you just like, hey, that's pretty good. I got to grab that one. Got to grab that one. That's inspiration coming through. Grab it. You hear people with success formulas that says, keep a notebook and a piece of pencil and paper next to your bed. When the thoughts come, jot them down. Oh, I'll think about it in the morning. I said, what was that thought I had last night? Oh, no, it's gone. You didn't respect. I was thinking, someone was saying, how do you contact innate?
You're always in contact with me.
You're right. How does your liver contact innate? Does it pray? Or does it do?
It just does.
Pray is a verb. It's what you do with God's word. It's what you do with your innate thoughts. It's what you do with your life. That's your prayer. This universal source doesn't need to be told how to run the universe. It created everything. But it needs you to put action behind it because you're part of the creation of the universe. So you get inspired to go out to be the bird to put action. Start creating a world out there. That's what you do. That's why BJ said what happens 500 years from now. He says all religions, governments will fall by the wayside, and mankind will be directed by the inner God that's within all of us, flowing through all of us. He said right now we need religions because of morality. We need medical doctors because they're subluxated and they have all this pathology going on. But the ideal thing, what do you want to create for the future? Where do you see yourself go? What do you see yourself part of a bigger vision out there? And that's to create a whole new world, directed from above down, from within out. And you have the power to do that. And it's so easy. You just have to live in the now. What you do now empowers the future. Changes history. So, without any further ado, we're going to have Dr. BJ Armin give up.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Glass of wine in hand. It's grapes.
Great job.
It's natural. It's real. Thank you.
I press it with my feet.
So, I could tell. No. So my wife said to me, how come you're wearing real shoes for a change? So I put on a turquoise shirt and I put on socks with turquoise. She said, no one's going to see them. So the shirts and the socks match. But more importantly, what does that make me? Okay? I used to, when I started back teaching about 7, 8 years ago, I was wearing white sweat socks. Nobody wears it. She said no one wears white sweat socks anymore. What? I'm not awesome? You want me to get a little, hold on, you want me to get a little closer? Can you see now?
I need my glasses.
We thought it said welcome.
She told me it said welcome.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic example of the blind leading the blind. But we're all awesome. We all bring something special. We all bring something different to the table. Okay? Look around the room. Nobody's got a twin. Nobody has anybody that looks like them. Well, Are you guys twins or just, no, you're brothers. Just brothers, okay? Let me just crank up the Wayback Machine to about 50 years ago when I was in college. Friend of mine and I, we both had hair down to here. Yes, I did have hair. We both had beards. We both wore glasses. And remember, it was the early 70s. We were in usually an artificial condition. And people would say, that was a slow delay. People would say, are you guys brothers? Yeah, there'll be remediation classes later. People would say, are you guys brothers? And I would say yes. And the next logical question would be what? Who said it? Who's older? I'd always point to Steve and go, Steve is. What's the next logical question? How much older, right? I would say 4 months. People would scratch their heads and go, seriously? No one said WTF in those days, but they go, seriously, really? And I would say, it's okay. Same father, different mother. Dad liked to fool around. And we'd just walk away and we'd watch people scratching their heads. But as Dr. Ribley said, you are here to make a difference. One thing he talked about is I always demonstrate, and I go, there's YouTube videos with the OBGYNs pulling out the kids, using forceps. We've all had patients over the years who've said, my child has marks or indentations on their head 2, 5, 10 years later after being pulled out of the birth canal. Okay? If anybody doesn't know the ICPA, the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association, probably I would say the second largest chiropractic association in the world behind the CCA, the California Chiropractic Association. ICPA has done a whole lot of research that associates crib death with traumatic birth due to the damage to the phrenic nerve. Right. And as Dr. Ribley said, they'll then, after all that trauma, they'll hand it to the baby and say, be sure to support the head. Which is itself a little inconsistent and incongruent. And then the more hypocrisy is they will say, don't you dare take that child to a chiropractor. They're dangerous. That is the pot calling the tea kettle black. Okay? We're not dangerous. Why do we pay a couple of $1,000s a year in malpractice insurance and some medical professions pay $250,000? Because what? Because we're safer. Is there an industry that it is more statistics driven than the insurance companies and the actuaries who just sit with it used to be calculators. Now it's computers running figures, calculating how much the premium should be based on how much risk and so on and so forth. We're not dangerous. We work with the body, not without the body. Okay? So it's where do you want to be in life? And Dr. Ribley mentioned the tick and the tor. I'm a perfect example of that. When I went into practice as an unlicensed exam doctor, ultimately partnering with the guy, and we shook hands, I was going to buy him out. That never happened, but that's a whole other story. But my partner was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Midwestern, Polish, Irish Catholic with blue eyes. Okay? Vietnam veteran. The only thing we had in common was the blue eyes, and we both spoke English. Other than that, we were polar opposites. We agreed 100% on the tick. Polar opposites. He practiced Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I practiced Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's how I ended up going up to West Palm and covering your brother's practice for him years ago. A couple of times, because I would cover on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. For those of you who don't know Dr. Bruce, I've known 40 years? 40 years. Your two brothers are chiropractor, your ex-sister-in-law's chiropractor. Okay? We go back a long time. We used to cover his brother's practice. But we were a multi-doctor practice, and if you've been in a chiropractic office, a lot of them are very personality-driven. Okay? Chiropractors have big personalities. And my partner, Big personality also, totally different. And there were patients that would absolutely love him to death and wouldn't see me on my days if they were in absolute dire need. There were patients of mine that wouldn't go see him unless they were on their deathbed. But what happened was we found the sweet spot in between his personality and my personality because we were explaining, and I hate to use the word selling, but unfortunately we are salespeople. We are selling people on a different concept of health. And people don't know, it's unconscious incompetence. People don't know what they don't know, and if they don't know it, it's up to us to tell them. So we had the same message, we verbalized it a little bit differently. I graduated from Life, he graduated from Logan, he had his technique, I had my techniques. I taught him the things that I knew, he taught me some things that he knew, and we really met in the middle because we were selling the tick and not the tor. Selling the principle and not the person, okay? And you guys all know me, it's tough to sublimate my personality, but we did it for the benefit of the patients, okay? My first day in practice when his other associate left, I saw 28 patients after working with him on his days, seeing 200 patients a day. And I said to myself, why is this guy on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday only seeing 30 patients a day, and this guy on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday seeing 200 patients a day? Okay, I'm not the smartest knife in the drawer, but I said, I can do that. And 8 months later, I broke 100. 7 months later, I broke 200. So we were seeing 200 patients a day, 6 days a week. Now, there were some patients that would overlap from me to him and him to me, but it was not the rule, it was mostly the exception. But we were there 6 days a week. Do you know what the best ability is? Availability. If you're not there, you're not there to serve. And if you're not serving people, the universe is not going to reward you and give it back to you in kind. Okay? You can ultimately practice 3 or 4 days a week, not when you start. You got to be there on the ground. Everything starts from a foundation. We used to call the patients that were coming in once a week for their lives bedrock patients, because bedrock forms the strongest foundation, and you build a practice from the foundation, from the ground up, not from the top down. The ultimate expression of the tick versus the tor was when my wife and I moved up here in 1991, and his daughter was in the program, was at school. And naturally, oh good, Michelle's here, babysitter that the kids know. So we go out for dinner one night, Michelle babysits, come home, girls are sleeping. And she goes, would you mind adjusting me? I go, sure, why not? I had portable table, lay down, adjust her, pop, 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 pop. She, bounces up off the table. And she says, oh my God, that was exactly like my dad's adjustment. What did that mean? He was out here, I was out here. We met in the middle. Even though there were patients that would never come to see me on a bet and vice versa, we managed to meet in the middle to try to be consistent. If you go to God forbid, if you go to McDonald's in Woodstock, Georgia, if you go to McDonald's in Paris, or if you go to McDonald's in Mumbai, India, you get the same burger, don't you? Right? They sell consistency. And another thing that we learned from Dr. Sid years ago is you don't sell the sizzle, you sell the steak. You've been to technique seminars where you're wowed by the flash and everything. Are you buying into the sizzle or the steak? Are you buying into the style or the substance? The beauty about chiropractic is that it is a simple concept. Everything is so damn complicated today. We still watch some commercial TV with commercials on. Not everything is streaming. The nice part about streaming is there's no commercials usually. That's if you buy the premium. If you buy the cheap stuff, you still get commercials. But the nice part or the thing about streaming is no commercials, but you still have commercial TV. Years ago, the only commercials you saw on TV for medications were Pepto-Bismol, aspirin and Anacin and pain relievers, and that's about it. Now, every commercial is what's called DTCs. Everybody know what DTCs are? Direct to consumers. 15, 20 years ago, the Federal Trade Commission allowed prescription drugs to be advertised on television. Every one of those commercials, ask your doctor if Cialis is right for you. Ask your doctor if this, whatever. But if you watch those today, they're doing a great job of selling. You watch those commercials, you think you're watching a commercial for an all-inclusive resort. Turn on the sound, and the last 40 seconds are all the contraindications, adverse effects, side effects. Don't take it if you got this, don't take it if you got that. How do you think you compete against those kind of dollars? You compete against that by telling the truth. Okay? You compete against that by telling people the power that made the body heals the body, and you put it in terms that people can understand. Remember, and I've said this and I say it a little tongue-in-cheek sarcastically, not to offend anybody, but no patient is going to come into you and say, "Doctor, my Krebs cycle is disrupted." "Doctor, my sodium-potassium channels are blocked. I'm having trouble absorbing long-chain fatty acids." Right? That's not the real world. Patients will come in and tell you the 3 things that are bothering them. They won't tell you the other things that are bothering them, and guess what? What's it say on Devin's shirt there? Experience miracles. Dr. Bruce, how many patients under your care had children after they were told they were unable to have children? Lots.
I had nothing to do with it.
You had a lot. You had a lot to do with it, but it was only using your hands. Dr. Leslie, same thing.
I would say lots.
Dr. Mike, same thing. The medical profession, what do they call those things? What do we call it? Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever day you want to call it. And you can explain it so easily that the body has a wiring system. This house has a wiring system. Okay? You go over to the light switch, you turn it down, and the lights get dimmer. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear simple. You're not going to cure anything. Doc, you cured me. I didn't cure nothing. Okay? People don't get headaches because they have a deficiency of Tylenol in their bloodstream at that moment. People get headaches because the body, which as you hear every day at life, is self-organizing, self-healing, self-regulating, self-maintaining. Given it's not subluxated. It's not rocket science. And it's easy. People want simple answers to simple questions. And if I could do it, anybody can do it. And I used to use that as my motivation when I was in school. I would see people that were successful. I go, oh my God, seriously? Yeah, I can do that. Because you know why? Dr. Ribley said there's electricity, there's magic in your hands. Friend of ours, Dr. Paul Roses, practices in Bayonne, New Jersey. Dr. Roses is about Jersey. Who said Jersey? Jersey. Dr. Roses is about this tall. Been seeing 150, 170 patients a day for 35, 38 years or so. We went to school together. He always used to say, if me and a medical doctor parachuted naked into the jungle, who would be able to take care of patients? Him. Why? He's got all he needs. That's all you need. Because with your hands, you have the ability to change lives. How many of you had your lives changed because of somebody else's hands? Okay? I know I did. And I was on the phone with him a couple of nights ago because he actually, 4 of my old friends that I've known for 50 to 55 years in New York called on my birthday to say happy birthday and stuff, which was really cool. And I always look at him and go, wow, Mel Gabriel. Okay? My buddy Mel Gabriel and Bruce's brother Murray were roommates at NYCC in 1976 when I got my first adjustment, along with a guy by the name of Dr. Bob Hoffman, who was an ICA president for several years. Okay? A lot of really cool people came out of your brother's class and Mel's class. And we still stay in touch. And I've known Mel since high school, so it's 53, 54 years. Friends forever. And one little adjustment, 2 adjustments to me changed my life to go down to Marietta, Georgia, instead of being able to drive half an hour against the traffic on Long Island, because he said to me in 1977, if I was going to start over, I'd go south to Marietta, Georgia. Okay? This is not the school, so I can say this. I looked at him and I said, what the fuck, are you kidding me? Marietta, Georgia, are you nuts? They talk funny down there. Our older daughter married one of them who talks funny. And they nicknamed my grandson Bubba. Somewhere your father and my father are rolling over in their graves going, we got a kid named Bubba in our family who's an absolute stitch. But B.J. Palmer said, you never know how far-reaching something you may think, say, or do today will affect the lives of countless millions tomorrow. And followed up that by saying it's always better to light one candle to curse the darkness. Moths are attracted to the flame innately. When you get into practice, you want to be the moth, you want to be the flame that will draw all the moths in. I have that back asswards. You want to be the flame that will draw all the moths in and change lives, and then all those moths are going to bring other moths, because the best way to build a practice is to get sick people well and keep the well from getting sick. That's what B.J. Palmer said. I will sell chiropractic, serve chiropractic if it takes me 20 lifetimes to do so. I will serve it within the law, without the law, inside the law, or outside the law, in order to get sick people well and keep the well from getting sick. Do you think he was committed? Okay? My wife and I are poker players. We've been all in chiropractic for 45 years. Okay? 3 days ago, not as old as Dr. Ribley, 3 days ago turned 70. A lot of other things we could be doing on a Saturday night. But we're here because we want what we are invested in to continue to grow, that my kids and my grandkids will always be able to find a chiropractor who adjusts subluxations. Not, as Dr. Jim Sigafus used to say, chiropractoids. Okay? Because if we become chiropractoids, then we will go the way of the osteopaths. And if you remember from your history class, 100 and change years ago, the osteopaths were just like us. But they sold their soul for a seat at the table, and now you can't tell the difference between an osteopath and a medical doctor. And guess what, guys? There are people within our profession that would do that in a heartbeat. It is up to you to defend chiropractic, not just educate people, but defend it so that chiropractic survives. B.J. Palmer's last spoken words, you are chiropractors, most of them are not. You must carry the banner for chiropractic survive. That's why Dr. Ribley's here on doing this on a Saturday night. That's why we're here. Drs. McClellan's here, Dr. Bruce is here, okay? Because we are invested in this. And we want to make sure that it keeps going. You will enjoy a life beyond your expectations. You will have everything. You will want for nothing if you put patients' needs first. And if you put patients' needs first, your needs will always be taken care of. I'm glad everybody's here. Thank you all for being here.
Really well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Love it.
Thank you, BJ. One more hand for him, huh? I want to pass this around. I need everybody to sign their name. I need an email address and phone number, and please print legibly I don't have a good imagination trying to figure out what these email things are all about. Okay, one other thing here. We're going to have a raffle later. So you're going to need a ticket here. You keep one part of the ticket, and the other part you're going to put in this hat when it comes around. Now remember, you get one ticket that you turn in. You get 2 tickets, but you keep one. Take one, put it in there, and then pass the hat around. Okay, let's listen up. We're not taking off here. We're going on. This is a diary, Select Writings of D.D. Palmer, discoverer of chiropractic. It was put together by Joe Maynard. He's the one who wrote Healing Hands. He's a good friend of mine through the years. He's no longer with us. But August 13th, it has been one of the rules of my life that is what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. In chiropractic, this is especially particularly when laying the foundation for a coming science, which is destined to be the grandest and greatest of all times of any age. This is what you're involved with. You know, it's BJ was touching on some of these stuff, and it's like I'm going to be very frank with you. In my life, I became associated with Dr. Sid Williams, and there was like 8 other people. And the vision was to create Life College of Chiropractic. The other schools were faltering. They weren't teaching the principles of chiropractic. Sherman was an upstart, and it changed BJ's philosophy to their own philosophy, so they don't teach any of the Palmer philosophy there. So it became necessary for us to do something. I had 6 children at the time. I'm trying to figure out how to feed them. And all of a sudden, this is the latter part of around 68, 69, we had to kick some money in to start life. And it came down, there was like 9 of us that did this. And it was a commitment because to me, it's like when I got involved in chiropractic, and then they talked about there's this universal power, it expresses through all things, and expresses through us this innate that we are. I took it. This would literally change the world if this word got out. So why would I not want to put my life behind it? You've been exposed to these things. You've been to some of these meetings before, some of you, and you know, to me, it's like when you get too much of it, and when you bring people in along with you to multiply out so that we can literally change the world. And all my travelings internationally around the world, whenever I go anywhere, I always would all my life, I would tell a chiropractor, get your friends over, I want to talk about chiropractic. When I was in practice, I used to tell them, bring your patients together, bake a cake, I'll come over to your house and I'll talk about chiropractic to your friends. That's what you do. He just says about telling the story. When do you stop telling the story? Yes. When you stop having people over to your apartments and where you're living and homes and stuff, and not tell the chiropractic story to them. When are you going to fill the other chairs at Life University? There's 7.5 billion people in the world. What would motivate you to think that maybe we need to start putting some effort out? Maybe we need to start thinking that with my knowledge comes responsibility. You become privy, all of you, you are more privy to understandings of life, chiropractic than D.D. Palmer was in 1895. They didn't even know there was such a thing as parasympathetic and sympathetic system even had connections. The medical profession, even up until the 70s in Louisiana, when they were trying to pass a law, says it's ridiculous. There's no nerve connection that would affect hearing. These are blatantly like that. And what you know and what you've studied, you know there is. And as you learn more. Everybody got their ticket in here? Well, we keep it, we'll have less. We keep it down to 2. Ask them. So when do you become responsible to start spreading the word about chiropractic? And do more. Now is the time. It's like when? This is it. D.D. Palmer said, was the thing I was just reading, he says, the time is now. You can energize the world right now.
That's right.
You have the power to change the world right now. It's in the now. It's not something I'm going to do when I get a license. It's not something I'm going to do when I get a practice going. It's not something I'm going to do on Fridays or Wednesdays or Saturdays or Sundays. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You live the life. People look at you and say, well, you live differently than everybody else. You eat differently than anybody else. You do things differently than anybody else. That's how they look at it. And yes, we do. I've always found it interesting, chiropractors that take their kid off to a pediatrician. Isn't that the most nonsense thing? Why would you take your kid off to a pediatrician so they can count his, he's got 10 fingers, he's got 10, he's got 2 ears and 2 eyes, looks pretty good to me. What do they do for the child? You're the only one in chiropractic that understands if you check the nervous system, you can find out what's going on with that child before anything appears while it's developing. How about when you're having a nice young lady who's pregnant? How many young ladies do you know get prenatal care? Very few women get prenatal care. Because the only prenatal care you can get is by going to a chiropractor. Getting weighed, getting chewed out after you had your blood pressure checked and told that you're gaining too much weight is not prenatal care. And that's what they do when you go for prenatal care in a medical doctor's office. But when you go to a chiropractor's office, well, how big is it when they can check your nervous system and find out what's going on in that physiology so that you're healthy and you have a child that comes out healthy? That's what you got going for you. That's the excitement. See, when do you stop? When's the last time you went to one of the Leletian societies where they have breastfeeding and you went in and said, I'd like to come and talk? Your students, did you ever go to the meetings and start, I want to talk about chiropractic? Have you ever met any midwives and say, I want to go on some, what's the, if you want to go with midwives, there's the name of it, you can go on, and you can go on and assist midwives. What is it? Doulas. Yes. When's the last time you did that? You want to see the miracle happening when you see a baby. Who's seen the baby being born? Raise your hand high. I want the rest of you to look around. That's fucking pathetic, isn't it? A natural phenomenon, a miracle taking place, and most people here has not even seen that happen. Does anybody have any brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Were you there when the baby came out? See? Helping the delivery?
I'm the youngest.
Yeah. Then you would get your nieces and nephews. When my my kids were having children, my grandkids were there 3 years of age helping with the delivery. Right at the foot of the bed, they're in there help support mama and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Renee, who's sitting back there, raise your hand. I hear people say, I can't do this because I'm busy this weekend. We do inter seminars. Renee worked with me. So she was having a baby that weekend. We're up in Dahlonega in the mountains. So she had her baby there during the seminar. You know about the Lupo Field? You all acquainted with the Lupo Field? Yeah. Well, Dr. Lupo was at a meeting with his wife. She was pregnant. So they left the meeting early that evening, went to the Holiday Inn. She delivered the baby and came back the next morning with her little Jessie. Introduced him to the chiropractors. That's how we do things.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's normal. So people say, that's really odd. And then people used to say to me, are you allowed to have your baby at home? You think, what, are they going to fucking give me a ticket or something? What do you think? You're under arrest. It's like a taxi cab driver delivers babies in a taxi cab. What happens to them? They put them in jail afterwards or something? Come on now. It's like, come on. I told Sunshine, I said, my whole program on obstetrics, because I remember when I was in school, it was a paragraph I wrote down. It was this long, and I told you what it said. It said, tell her not to push. Tell her not to push, and when she doesn't listen to you anymore and she pushes, that must be the time for it to come out. And when it comes out, make sure you catch the child, and then you take a shoestring, tie it, and take your razor and cut the cord. Well, that seemed pretty obvious. Like, I can do that. Can you imagine? When this little egg here in the female comes in contact with the male, and there's a load shot, like a 280 million sperms going, swimming. And one targets the egg.
One of them is the winner.
Yes. It's like, how does that happen? Is there a traffic cop in there? Say, go right, go left, stay on the side. It's better over here. You know, it's like, what's going on here? And then it's just like, you're having the baby and the baby's coming out, and it's like, how would it? It has to have a doctor's help to get out, doesn't it? No. Good grief! Yeah, go to Australia where they got kangaroos. You know, when the baby kangaroo comes out, it plops out and then climbs up and gets in the pouch and grabs the nipple. What would happen if the kangaroo was upside down? Would it climb out and go up its ass instead? If we're north and south, it instinctively, there's an innate within it knows what to do. Have you faith in these type of things? Have you more faith in a knife or a spoonful of medicine than the animating power of the world? No. This is what happens. You're like, good, this is like, you'd have to be an idiot if you didn't believe that there was some Mother Nature, there is a power working within this physiology. You have to be an absolute idiot. And the world seems to be full of them because they're busy watching TV. Nido, whatever. I don't know the name of all these drugs they use. But they have a name for them. It's like, I like my remote because I hit the volume as soon as the commercial goes on, and when they're finished, I turn the volume back on. So I don't even want to hear the shit that they're talking. Pfizer's got something else. It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. It's like, and there's people like marching. I got chiropractic friends that they advertise, I had my vaccine, you can come in here. It's like, good grief. So, I'm looking for cohorts in life. That's why we're having our meetings. That's why we do Life Force. I'm looking for cohorts. We want to change the world. I don't like the system. I don't like what they're doing to everybody. I don't like what's happening to our children. Can you imagine? I did this one right in the very beginning. I used to wear a shirt at the beginning of the coronavirus. This is, I go to Costco and sit on it. I need a hug. You're not supposed to hug anybody. You got your loved one sitting there behind glass and you're waving, goodbye. They're dying. Goodbye. We don't want to touch them. Like, I'd rather touch them and go with them than sit on the outside and watch all this thing happening. There's something wrong here. Our priorities are wrong. Our contacts are wrong. The Native Americans, I don't understand. Why are Christians so down on death? It seemed like they'd be happy because they're going to meet Jesus. So the way we live in our life is we're going to go back to source. This is a constant thing. People say, how you doing today? And they'll say, well, I got up on the right side of the grass. I said, well, how do you know the other side might have been pretty good too? I have no idea. Do you fear death? No, it's just a part of life. Innate is that part of me that always was, is, and always will be. Universal source, innate, is eternal, universal, immortal. This is what you're letting loose. This is your identity, what you are. And BJ used to say, people walk around and say, I have a soul, I have a soul. He says, you are the soul, but you have a body. You're a human being. You're a being expressing through this human flesh. That's what you are. This is pretty big when you start to understand this. So to me, it's like, let's start really making more commitments to ourselves that we're going to be the difference on a daily basis with the people around us. What would happen if the next 2 weeks you made a decision that I'm going to have a session at my house, philosophy night at my house, and I'm going to invite people I work at the restaurants or whatever. I'm going to get them over to my house, and we're just going to talk philosophy of life, chiropractic. Is that philosophy of life? Chiropractic. See? When are you going to start doing that? See, you're a chiropractor. I'm going to go out and visit some other chiropractors. It's like people are starving for this. People are starving for purpose in their life. I'm looking for a purpose in my life. And people don't know what to do. And they're sold all these things. Well, you can have a nice job, you can have this. I remember they were putting a furnace in my home in Florida when I lived down there, and I said to the young guy, I says, how long you been doing this? He was like 20. He says, oh, I've been doing it for a couple of years. I says, well, how come you're installing furnaces? He says, well, that was the only job available. So I says, you intend to do this for the rest of your life? And he says, probably, it's the job I have. I'm over in England, and I'm talking to this chiropractor. He had an office in London to expand your mind. He said, I have a branch office. It's in Australia. It doesn't like I have an office in Marietta and I have another one in Canton. He says, I have one in London, and the other office, my branch office, is in Australia. And I go back there a couple times a year to make sure everything's going and it's working properly in my office there. Expanding your vision or your mind of what you can do, the job that we have to do. So, Life University. What we got, 1,700 students studying chiropractic there? Now, whoopee-doo, huh? It's embarrassing to say we have 1,700. Because if I went back a few years, we had 3,500 studying chiropractic. The population has grown up. And life population went down. Chiropractic colleges have closed, not opened. Oh, there was a few opened. I'm sorry. Kaiser Chiropractic Medical School opened up in Florida. Yeah, we had a couple of those opened up. What do you do about that?
Tell the truth.
Yes. You know, I'm not asking you to do any things that we used to do because we were pretty wild when we were young. I remember one of my colleagues, he became president of a chiropractic college, but he used to do, when he was in school, they used to paint signs on the hospital steps in town there and all kinds of derogatory things about medicine and stuff. It's like, you know, you don't have to do those things. Dr. Sid says you don't have to, you know, drink creek water and howl at the moon. You can wear a three-piece suit and go out there and take on the world now. And so, to me, it's like, what is the slickest thing we can start doing now to take on the world? And it really comes down to speak the truth. Spread the story, spread the story. So the next up, we got Dr. Mike. He's great at spreading the story. He's got the big idea, and he's going to lay it out on us. Dr. Mike. I'll give you this clipper out so you get recorded here. You're wired.
Thank you. Whew. You know, I speak a lot. I talk about chiropractic a lot. I'm not afraid to tell anybody about chiropractic. I don't know where I'm going to put this. This is good right here. Everybody see that from here? Yeah. So I talk about chiropractic all the time, and I'm sitting back there, and my heart is pounding right now. It's like I am so jacked up that, you know, this group is the best. I mean, honestly, this is the best, you know, and it really is. You know, give yourself a round of applause. I'm telling you. You know, wow. I look around here. This is like family now. You know, Inner Winter's family. You become family. Yeah. So I was telling Val a little bit ago. I said, you know, I'm gonna use her in my beginning Because you know what I want to do right now so that I can be grounded and I can make an impact and I can do something special is I want to anchor this. Is that okay with you guys? Will you guys help me anchor this? Yeah? Yeah, Val, will you give the countdown here?
3, 2, 1.
Yes! Yes, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Because, you know, we just got to anchor this whole thing. We've got to stay together, and we've got to keep this group together. And when we talk about innate, and I mean, nobody does it better, right? You know, I sat for days with this man. He just, it flows out of him. He doesn't even think about it. He opens his mouth and wisdom just flows, right, everybody? You know, it just flows and flows and flows. And if you don't understand what that was, get with him at the end of this meeting. You need to be at Inner Winter. You need to plug into this family, and you need to understand what this is all about, because I'm telling you, it's life-changing, and it makes a world of difference in our lives. But the thing about it is, we got to get back to this, okay? This is the answer. We talk about the autonomic nervous system. D.D. Palmer said in 1895, everybody has a brain and a spinal cord and nerve roots that go to every single cell in your body. Everything has to have nerve supply for it to function properly, okay? If we've got interference, we don't get proper nerve supply, right? We've got to make sure that that's happening. You know, Henry Windsor in 1921, he said, I don't understand this whole chiropractic thing. I don't understand what y'all are talking about. How can anybody make anybody better if they're not prescribing drugs and if they're not doing surgeries, right? So he did 100 autopsies. He found 200 organs that were diseased. What he said was, I want to find out, is there a relationship between a diseased organ and a misalignment in the spine? And you know what he found? 100%, right? Okay, 100% of the time he found that there was a problem and it related back to the spine, right where the nerve supply was coming from. So if they had a heart and a lung condition, he found they had a thoracic problem. If he found a stomach or a colon issue, he traced it back to the lumbar spine. There's the answer. Why are we so freaking confused? You know? What did Hippocrates say? I'm going to go to the spine to find the cause of disease, right? What did Edison say? I'm not going to give. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, right? We'll go to the structure, we'll go to the spine, we're going to find the cause, and we're going to find prevention, and we're going to take care of it, right? Where's Matt at? Where's Matt? We're in 100. Where's he at? Okay, 100. Eric Plasker, right? Dr. Plasker, okay? Eric says it's not the doctor of the future. It's now the doctor of the present, right? We're here. We're here. We're here. Okay? When are you going to be a doctor?
Now.
Now, there you go. That's my answer. Yeah. That's my answer. Man, they paid attention last time. It's not when you graduate. It's when you made this decision. And I'm going to tell you something. Chiropractic chooses us. We don't choose chiropractic. Okay? We don't choose this thing. This gets us, and it's a calling, and it's got to get in your soul. It's got to get in your passion, okay? You know, when it happens, did anybody ever take a pill when they were younger? Yeah. Took a pill? Did you want to become a medical doctor when you took that pill? No, you didn't. You know, forget it, Cheyenne. Cheyenne goes too deep. Actually, Cheyenne might have to leave the room, because she might have to leave the room. She touched my soul at the Inner Winter, and I don't want to start crying, so I can't look at her. I can't look at her. But, you know, you didn't become a doctor because you took a pill. Anybody ever have a surgery in here? Break a bone, have a surgery? Yeah. Did you want to become a surgeon because of that? No. Okay. I want to ask you a question, and somebody said it earlier. I want everybody in this room to raise their hand if a chiropractic adjustment changed your life. A chiropractor changed your life, okay? And that's what happened. Saved your life. Changed your life. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay? How many people today told a stranger today that you're a chiropractor? Wow. Yesterday? Good, Cheyenne. That's good. Or Cheyenne, yeah. You know, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Yeah, it's midterm week. That's right. So yeah. We're going through the brain fart. Yeah. So yeah. You know, we talked about that a little bit too, you know, and Val and I were talking about that a little bit. I'm going to tell you something. You know, you got to take the boards, okay? You got to pass these classes. But I'm going to tell you something right now. No one in 34 years has ever asked me what my GPA was. They never asked me if I passed the boards. Did I pass them the first time? By the way, I did not. I worked my ass off to get through the boards. But I'm going to tell you what, that's just your right to passage. That's all it is, okay? The first 2 years are freaking miserable, okay? Because we want to find out, do you want to be here or not? Okay? That's all we want to know, because if you can get through that, and you'll get through this group, I promise you this group will get through this, because you got midterms. Yeah. You got midterms going on right now. You got boards going on right now. I had a really good friend. I texted him and I said, hey, you know, I'm coming into town. I'm going to speak at Spizz. I'd love to see you there. Oh, man, I got boards. I got, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay? When we went away for the weekend, you and Austin studied. Did you guys hammer that test on Monday? We did. Yeah. Did you worry about it while we were in the mountains? No, you didn't worry about it in Dahlonega. So this is what it's all about, guys. I'm going to tell you. Maybe for a moment. Yeah. But this is what it's all about. I'm telling you, you know, you're going to get the education because you got to pass the boards and you got to take the state boards and you got to do all that stuff. And then when you get to that passage, once that right to passage happens, then you get to come and play with us. You get to have fun with us. Okay? Is that right? How many years? And it's like years and years. And how many years, Bruce, now? How many years practicing? 29. 29?
Woo! Yeah.
41. Forever, 60, yeah, forever. He doesn't remember anything else. Do you remember anything else? No. 34 years. 34 years, okay. How many less? 25? 27, you know? Yeah. I don't look older. I'm getting better looking every day. I get better looking every day. You know, the thing about this is, and coming up here, and you know, I brought some notes and shit. I'm way off the page right now. But the whole idea is that, you know, what it's all about is the fact that you guys are here, you're getting the philosophy, you're getting what we need to have, because that's what's going to make a difference. And you got to tell people that, okay? You know, we were having lunch in Dahlonega, and we were sitting talking, and River and I were sitting there chatting, and we were talking about the pandemic and how it was just, it's a frickin' medical failure. It's a frickin' medical failure. They have absolutely failed at their own game, okay? They're giving frickin' vaccinations at Publix. Are you shitting me? Why would you go to the grocery store to have a medical procedure? Like, what the hell? They can't even give them away. Do you see what's happening to them? They don't know what to do. They really are so frickin' confused they don't know what to do right now, okay? We're winning this, okay? We are winning this.
Yes.
We're winning this. You got to get that in your soul. We are winning this, okay? We talk about passion. You know, I wake up with passion. I go to bed with passion. I love this. There's nothing like this. Did I have a period in my life where chiropractic, you know, yeah. In my 50s, I hit the wall. A midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the hell happened to me. I was going to work. I was tired when I got there. I was tired when it was over. I was going to bed tired. I was waking up tired. I thought I had cancer. I went and had some blood work done. They said, no, you're the healthiest 57-year-old I know. So Austin was running cross country. I said, I'm going to go run a freaking 5K. And everybody said, you don't run. I said, I know. But I got to do something, right? I got to do something. I feel like shit. I got to go do something, right? So we ran, did we not? We ran the Julie Diener, okay? I didn't die, okay? I finished it, and I didn't die. I ran 6 5Ks that summer. I've done 12 obstacle courses in my 60s, you know? So you just have to go and do it, right? You just have to make a decision that, you know what, I'm going to have passion. I'm going to believe in this, and I'm going to tell people about this, okay? Because, you know, the thing is, there was, what, 95 million people that contracted COVID during this whole thing, okay? 90 million people recovered, okay? I think they had 1 million deaths, okay? And you may have had somebody in your life and family that happened to, and, you know, my heart goes out to you for that. But I'm just saying, you know, during that same time, almost 700,000 people died of a heart-related condition. Almost 700,000 people died of cancer, okay? We have the answer, guys. We have the freaking answer. What did Henry Windsor say in 1921? If the freaking heart and lungs aren't working, we got to go to the thoracic spine and fix that. If you're having cancer in your colon, we got to go to the lumbar spine and fix that. We have the answer. Okay, we're just sitting around. You know, we have the answer and we don't even know it. We're wandering around in the dark. Oh shit, I got midterms. Oh shit, I got boards. I got 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 12. What the hell? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What the hell is going on? Think about it. You'll get through the damn boards. You're going to get through midterms. You're going to get through finals. Okay. Start getting excited about what the hell we have here. Okay. Tell somebody about it. I was selling life insurance. I have an economics degree from Penn State. I'm selling life insurance with Prudential. I moved to Marietta, Georgia, and I woke up one day. I knew what snow looked like on a car. My car was completely covered in yellow. I had no idea what the hell that was. But I could write my name in it. I thought it was really cool that I could write my name in it. About 2 weeks later, I had vertigo and headaches. I was so screwed up I couldn't even drive. Okay, I thought I was going to lose my job. I went to drugs. It didn't work. Okay, nothing was working for me. And a friend of mine says, you need to come and see my chiropractor. And I thought, what the hell is a chiropractor going to do for me? You don't understand. I got headaches and vertigo and I can't drive. I know, you need to come and see my chiropractor. Dr. Larry Jack. You guys know Larry Jack, remember?
Yeah.
Is he out of practice now? Is he?
I
Haven't seen him in years. Larry Jack, Roswell, Georgia.
Also a classmate of Bruce's brother.
Wow. So family, yeah, connection. See, my guy was family. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I know it now. But my guy was family. But he brought me in and he said, you know what? You have a reverse curve in your neck and C1 and C2 are not moving in the same direction. And that's blocking that brain from getting a message to the glands that control your eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Okay, whatever. All right? Drugs aren't working. Let's try it, okay? Give me a couple of months to unravel this bullshit that's going on in your world right now, right? Okay? Because that's what it is, right? You know what? We're fine until we're not, right? Everything's going great until all of a sudden you wake up one day and something's all screwed up, okay? What do we call that? Subluxation. Thank you. Okay? It's a subluxation. Something gets knocked out of line. Something's not working properly. You may have had it for a long time, but you never got bombarded. And that's exactly what he said to me. You've never been bombarded with pollen like this. Your body's in an overload. Let me clear it out and let's see what happens. He clears my atlas out. He clears my neck out. We start getting a couple months worth of adjustments. And I'm going weekly at that point. And I said, can I just follow you around? Can I just see what you do? Yeah. So I went into a room and he just said, this is a friend of mine that's thinking about being a chiropractor. And I thought, I didn't say that. What the hell is he talking about? You know, I just wanted to see what he did, okay? Here I stand 40 years later. Okay. See, innate, God, inside out, right? I mean, above, down, inside out. It's coming from above. It's flowing out, okay? You got to get out of its way. You have to get out of its way, okay? It chose you, okay? Chiropractic, innate, chose you to be here. You need to be here. You need to plug in. You need to understand why you're here, okay? Because that's what it's all about. We've got to make a difference in this world. We have to make a difference, and we've got to change things that are going on in this world because their system is not working. Okay? It's never going to work, all right? And they know it. They know it now more than ever. Wouldn't you agree with me, River? They're terrified right now, okay? They can't even give their shit away, okay? And they don't know what else to do, okay? And that's why we're seeing commercials on TV now, ask your doctor. You know, hell, they've gone beyond the doctor telling us what to do. Now they're telling us to go tell the doctor what you want. How the hell do you know what you want? Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's what's going on right now, and that's what's got this thing so mixed up. There's never been a better time, ever, to be a chiropractor than right now. We have it right now. We have it, okay? We have the answer. But you know, did anybody hear Dr. Leslie speak a couple months ago? Did she freaking rock it out, man? I'm telling you. Yeah. Whoa. You know, she said, what did she say in that thing? She was saying, you know what? I hope you don't play too small. Okay? That's our biggest prayer, honestly, and that's why we drove a couple hours to be here, and that's why these guys are here, and that's why we're going to keep doing this, and keep doing this, and keep doing this, because we pray that you don't play too small, okay? We pray that you think big. What did he say? How big is it? How big, you know, it is, okay? Well, how big is this, okay? How big is this? If you went to a really good dinner, would you tell somebody about it? Would you tell somebody about the restaurant? Yeah. Anybody ever seen a good movie? Did you talk about it? Are you talking about this?
Yeah.
I hope so. I really, really hope so, because this is it, okay? This is how big it is, okay? And it's that big. It's our autonomic nervous system. It never, ever is confused, and it never, ever fails. If you cut yourself, Matt, is it going to heal?
Sure is.
Yeah. You break a bone, is it going to heal?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You have to think about it? Okay. Is it time to go? Oh. Yeah. It's bedtime. I'm sorry.
She said,
Leslie said it's my bedtime. I got to go. So, yeah.
It's time for you to confess about sleeping with passion to Leslie.
Okay. Sleeping with passion. That's it. All right. Did I say that? I sleep with passion? Did I say that? I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm... Now they got me off track, River. Yeah. That one was, his name was Austin. Yeah, That was the result. That was the result of sleeping with passion. Yeah. But we talk about birthing, right? He brought that up tonight about the birthing. Austin was born at home. Austin was born in the bedroom. He was a 24-hour delivery. He almost killed his poor mother. Okay, but when Austin got here, he had swallowed meconium. Okay, and the midwife took him, and she was trying to get a tube down him, and she put a little tube in there and suctioned some of it out. And I looked at her and I said, "Did you get it all?" And she said, "I don't know." And I'm thinking, that's not the answer I was looking for. Okay, and innate inside of me said, adjust him. Okay, I'd adjusted babies. I never adjusted my baby. Okay, that's a big difference. Okay, and I took my baby and I adjusted him, and he vomited meconium. If you've ever seen meconium, it's like black tar. Okay, actually, when we moved out of that house, I think the carpet was about this color, and I think it was still stained. We never could get it out of the carpet. Okay, but I'm just saying that for the sake that that's the power that's within us. He never had a respiratory problem in his life. Okay, and that's the cool part. So, the beauty in that, and then when Grace came along, Grace came 2 weeks early. Leslie's standing in the bathroom with her legs crossed staring at me. I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "We're having a baby." I said, "We're a couple weeks early." "I know, but we're having a baby." Okay? And so I called the midwife. She said, "Well, Leslie's not the one I had in line." Okay, I'm thinking a couple more weeks, right? And I said, "Well, Darren's saying that, whatever. And she said, "I'm telling you, Mike, we're having a baby." Okay? And I said to Darren, "What do I do?" She said, "Where's she at?" I said, "She's standing in the bathroom looking at me." She said, "Well, can you get her to lay down?" So I said, "Leslie, can you get in the bed and lay down? Darren says it'll be easier for me to catch the baby." She said, "I'm telling you, Mike, I'm having a baby. You're either going to catch this baby or this baby's going to hit the floor." I said, okay. We're going to do it here, okay? So I go over there. I put a hamper in the middle of the room. I said, can you put your hands on this hamper? So she does. She spreads her legs, and I got down, and honestly, I didn't get it quick enough. Grace came flying out, okay? And the only thing Leslie said, standing there holding the hamper, she said, "Oh, God, that feels better." I swear. That's the power. That's the power of chiropractic, ladies. I'm telling you.
Austin loves hearing that.
Yeah.
I don't know who's more embarrassed.
You started it. The whole baby thing. They got me wound up on. They got me wound up on the baby thing. All right. I gotta wind it down. All right. You're all having too much fun. I gotta wind this down. But the thing about it is, that's what chiropractors do. That's the way we live. We don't go to work. Okay. It is what we are. Okay. We don't have to go to work to do anything. We would do it anywhere. We would talk to people about chiropractic. I told the valet guy today about chiropractic, and I said, "Man, you need to see a chiropractor. You're running around here doing all this stuff." I talk to everybody about chiropractic everywhere you go. Okay. I have a card, pocket full of cards. You just hand them out. Okay. Just give them to everybody. There's no reason that you shouldn't talk to people about chiropractic. And that's the thing that we have to do. We've got to let the masses know. It's like River was saying. Okay, there's how many million people? How many people in the world? Yeah, there's billions of people in this world. Okay, there's 1,700 chiropractors at Life right now. Okay, what is there? 70,000 of us in practice. I think in the whole country. Okay, we need 3 times that, right? Yeah. We need to triple the number of chiropractors that are out there, okay? And so the only way we're going to do that is for you to tell people, okay? You got to tell all your friends. You got to tell everybody you know about chiropractic, and then you never know, okay? My kids would never go grocery shopping with me. If I saw somebody in the store, I'd say, "You ever think about being a chiropractor? Do you ever think about being a chiropractor?" They say, "Damn, Dad." I say, "You want to go shopping with me?" "No, I'm not going with you." You're going to freaking be there for an hour, and you're going to talk to everybody. You're going to tell. Everybody doesn't want to be a chiropractor. I said, "You don't know. You don't know until you ask, right?" He said it until the day he signed up. "Dad, everybody doesn't want to do this." Yeah, well, so. But I want to do one little thing, and then I'm going to close, okay? You know, we talk about passion, okay? We talk about warriors for chiropractic, okay? You know, and this is special to me because there's a couple people in here. Jordy, will you stand up for a second? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they know you. I guess they know you, okay? Riley, will you stand up for a second? Okay. Yeah. Do y'all know my friends? Okay. Warriors for freaking chiropractic. Okay, what court are you in?
I'm an undergrad.
Oh, you're an undergrad. Yeah. I spent a weekend with this girl. I asked her 3 times. Riley, what court are you in? She goes, oh, I'm still an undergrad. I said, damn. She is so big. She is so big about chiropractic. And her energy. I honest to God, my brain will not allow me to think that she's an undergrad. I asked her 3 times. I was so embarrassed. I said, God, I'm sorry. I said, I can't see that. And how many Spizzes you been to? 3, 4? Everybody knows them? Okay. What court are you in? Undergrad. Thank you. That's what it's all about, guys. Okay, that's what it's all about. You know, when I decided to make the move. Right. You're going to start. When are you starting? Yeah. No, listen to me. I've already had that discussion with you. You're going to start, man. I was in your world. This is a better world, I promise. He's in that crazy finance world. Yeah. He's in that crazy finance world. He'll make the turn. Yeah. We'll get him on board. But you know, really, that's what it's all about. I mean, when I was still selling with Prudential, you know, I would go out on a sale, and if I made the sale or didn't, I would tell them about chiropractic. I had 12 patients in the clinic before I ever started school. And that's what it's all about, okay? So go out, tell people about chiropractic. I know clinic is crazy right now. You know what? It's all crazy, okay? It's all crazy. It's crazy for us. What's that?
You adjust.
Adjust what?
Situation, you adjust.
That's right. You adjust. Oh, adjust to the situation. Absolutely. That's what it is. Just go with the flow. Do what you have to do. So, okay. But anyway, let me end this, okay? Our prayers, seriously, play bigger, okay? Be big. How big is it, okay? Think about that as you go out. It's the biggest thing that in the whole world, okay? And please tell that message. Please think of it that way and tell the message. And, you know, who's going to be next, okay? Who's coming next? All right? Come on. Who's coming next? Who wants to be the next one? All right? Because that's what we need. We need more people that will step up. We need more people that will tell the story. We need more people that will give and serve. Okay? Thank you.
Fantastic. You got it?
I'll let you get it.
Thank you. Just to make sure that you all understand, everybody is in pre-chiropractic, whether they realize it or not. The other thing is, when we said undergrad, once you decide you want to be a chiropractor, you're in the process. My oldest, Larry, when he was 10 years old, he sent his application to Dr. Sid to become a chiropractor at Life. Life wasn't even opened yet, but he knew it was going to open. See, the point is that you're on the journey to be a chiropractor, or you're on the journey to get the tools to practice chiropractic. Once you make that decision, I'm going to be a chiropractor, you are, and you're on the journey. I want to say a couple other things because we were talking about babies. This is a very meaningful thing to me because I've seen quite a few births. It's like when we had babies, our grandkids, my children's stuff. It's quiet music, candles around, family together, all partaking, welcoming the birth of this miracle coming into the world. And keeping on it, if you want to feel the most sacred thing you can feel, it's watch the birth of a baby. And it's interesting how we've even perverted that, because we've been said that babies as innocent as are born of an original sin because their grandmother was eating apples or something, I guess. So it's a very beautiful thing that if you have a chance to participate in. If you're having children, and Mike was making light of it, it's just a natural phenomenon. We have been brought into the society thinking it's unnatural. And then this unnaturalness creates all the pain, the agony, and all the stuff that goes with it. You know, from anesthetizing and anesthetizing a woman so she can't push the child out. Everything that's done is to complicate it and give problems. So if you have that chance, you want to become part of it. If you're in fact having a baby, welcome your parents, in-laws and stuff to become part of the whole experience, because it's just a beautiful thing to be part of all that. Now, we have a raffle here.
It's behind there.
We're moving along, but we'll just have a little raffle here. So. Okay. Everybody's got their ticket in, right?
Yeah.
If you got your ticket, that meant you also signed the list that you're here, right?
I already said it.
Okay, because I don't want to hear anybody that wins something and I don't find their name on that list, because I will come back and get it from you. Okay, this is the first prize. First ticket drawing. Would you like to pull a ticket? And listen to the number.
086347.
That's me.
You deserve it.
Yeah, Riley!
Right on, Jackie.
Say, I am a chiropractor.
I am a chiropractor. Yeah!
I thought for a moment we're going to get some work out of Jackie. She's going to put a thing on her back and get out there and start really humping. But that was a real slick way to do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are more than welcome.
Okay.
With my ass for 45 years. You're going to need a bigger prize.
I thought you were the prize, BJ.
Yeah. You didn't say which prize, so keep that to yourself.
Mike, you're right. He is the prize.
I forgot Jackie has been carrying a lot on her back. Quite a few years.
That's the old footprint saying.
There, that's it. Okay. Next is Kid Cairo. This is BJ's early life. Good stories in him. Story in him. When he was about the 8th grade, he was expelled from grade school because he was bringing rats to school. So they expelled him. Years later, after he opened up the Palmer School of Chiropractic, the teacher that expelled him came and studied under him to become a chiropractor. Stories in there. So, I'll let you pull the ticket.
Casey? Yeah, Casey? Say my number.
Do what we talked about, Casey.
0, 8, 6, 3, 1, 0.
moving up in the world. The meeting before last, he just got a hat. Yeah. That's it. And next up, we're going to have a couple come up. And she's our trooper from Dahlonega. Had her baby there, and her husband, midwife, wasn't there, so he was taking care of things. And we got to cheer her on and everything else. And the rest of the people at the Inner Winners program were all doing the meditation, visualizing the beautiful birth of Jade, who's a chiropractor practicing in Naples. Bruce, Renee.
I get to hold it?
You get to hold it. So, if you don't really know me well enough, I like to plan and prepare.
Yeah.
And he went like this. And I said to Bruce, he went like that. I think we're going to talk tonight. I was like, I don't know. So,
That's why I gave you that much time.
Yeah.
That was the planning. All
Yes.
right up here.
But
What's that?
What?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you were going to say, you say something.
This is going to be a while.
Yes. No, I was going to say, but I think for tonight, and then I think it goes with what everyone's been talking about. I'm just going to go right with it, and then I'll let you jump in. We went for a walk this week, and I was saying to Bruce, like the seriousness of what's happening in our world. I said it's a battle for the soul. That's what's happening right now. And we just opened we've been practicing for a while, but we just opened up a new office. And so there's this newfound of like having people come in and hearing their story, and they're on 39 medications. And it's like crazy. And if we really think about what River says, it's a battle for the soul. So I'm going to pass it over to you, and when I said that to you, what that meant to you.
So we do stuff on walks all the time, and we come up with our things when we walk. But we walk by this banana plant. Has anyone ever seen banana plants, right? So, yeah. So, I'm from Florida, and banana plants are all year round pretty much. Up here, they don't work that way. They cut them all the way down to the ground. There's nothing there in the wintertime. And then by now, the banana plant grows into this massive banana tree, right? So we walk through our neighborhood all the time, and we see this banana plant. And today, literally 3 hours ago, we're walking by. I'm like, and she says, "Oh my God, look at that banana plant! Remember in the wintertime, it was nothing. It was literally gone. It was just dirt." And I'm like, you know what's crazy? Is that banana plant, if you cut that down and hold that stalk, it probably weighs 50 pounds. And literally 6 months ago, it didn't even exist. And what was there was roots, dirt, water, air, and the right environment. And something happened. Something happened, and now we have this physical thing that literally came from nothing. And when we talk about there's a battle for the soul, if you can, like BJ talked about, BJ Palmer, if you attract the eyes to attract the mind, right? He had epigrams up, and he had all these thoughts and things up. If you look at what's happening in the world today, and if you watch the news, the people that are doing the newscasters are not, I don't know if anyone in here has ever seen or heard of Walter Cronkite, but he was not what you call eye candy, right? But now we have beautiful people on the news. It doesn't matter what news you watch. We have beautiful, attractive people telling us what to think and what to do and what to say. it's a battle for the soul. And if they can attract our minds, if you can get the mind of man, you get to the soul and you begin to speak to that. And the battle of the soul is for us to forget that the banana plant comes from nothing, and it turns into this massive plant, and that the sperm and the egg form together, and in 9 months, 70 trillion living, breathing, thinking cells that emit light, that communicate with one another, that communicate with each other, has no limits. The battle for the soul is for us to forget that.
So I want to ask, what do you think would happen if what he just described, he's talking about the banana plant, the two cells coming out, if that was on the news and that was on TV and everybody started to hear that message, what would happen?
Think
Change
different.
the world.
Yeah, I mean, people would be like, wait, like I have that in me? Like, I can do that? And that really is when Mike is saying, like, this is what we're supposed to be, talking about, is because everything in the world tells us that we don't.
What do you
And
say
then-
to the people who say you're crazy?
What I've been doing with people is I literally say, like, put your hand on your heart, and you feel the heartbeat. What's making that heartbeat? Because I'm not having to think, okay, my heartbeat doing that. That right there, that intelligence, that's what we work with.
Yep.
I mean, I say we, I'm not a chiropractor, but that's what we work with in it, is that. So you can't deny what makes the heart beat. What takes two cells? You can't deny this intelligence that does that. And so when people start asking me, like, I go, this is what we work with right here. I feel that. I'm not making that happen. There's an intelligence in there. And that intelligence knows what to do. I can eat something, and that intelligence knows how to digest the food and make the best that it possibly can for it. So people don't know, they don't correlate like, they don't correlate the power that they hold inside of themselves. And that's just with your the physical body and how it runs. The power that we hold in our minds with our thoughts. I mean, like, really, as chiropractors, the understanding of how the body works, but then understanding how the mind works with the body. There's just so much power that we hold in the message of what we share with people. So really, the battle for the soul is just starting to let people understand, like I hold that power. Because everywhere else, they walk out into the world, and when they turn on the TV, it's fear.
So the whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, the system, the small group that is fighting for our minds and our attention to capture our souls, to persuade us to forget. If you remember Lion King, right? Rafiki's telling him, look harder. What do you see? Like but what do you see? Like, oh, it's Mufasa. I see myself in Mufasa. Like, it's the remembering who we are. It's what River talked about. It's what Mike talked about. It's what BJ talked about. And when you get to that point and you look at what happens with COVID and the CDC's recommendations, it's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke, because what they're telling us now is they're switching up their game. They're playing identity politics. They're playing this game of what does the public want to hear, and then they shift things around and they start to kowtow to what they think we want to hear, and they think they're sly. When we remember who we are, those things, it's like the Matrix, like when he figures out he can jump right into the agent's body and like just fucking explode him everywhere. That's the power that we have. Like that's what we're on the precipice of. And the only difference is they have BJ alluded to it. He talked about it. they have passed laws that said that it's okay for corporations, pharmaceutical corporations, there's only 2 countries in the world that allow that, us and New Zealand, that allow direct advertising. Do you think the goal for that is to sell more drugs?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where it gets even more nefarious. The goal is not to sell more drugs. That's a byproduct. The goal is to create such influence over the outlets that get the messaging out, that when a message comes up that says, hey, you know what? We don't need 700,000 people dying every year of heart disease. We can adjust that, and we can adjust that, and we can take care of all that shit and blood pressure. And we can teach people that when their babies are coming into the world and they're not breathing, we adjust them and they breathe, or whatever other stories are here. Like we can do that. Totally lost my train of thought. Where was? Well, I was getting to the good part.
I don't know where you're gonna go.
Welcome to early onset old age.
No, here's what it is. Here's what it is. This is it. This is it. It's not to sell more drugs. It's to gain influence. It's to gain influence over TV, radio, all this stuff, to make us forget what Dr. Mike said. That to make us forget that when we have Granny on the table, when we have a fucking empty chair here, some person is not hearing the message. Someone's at home, and like, let's think about that. Someone's at home that's not going to be affected by this chiropractor's hands that was here, or that chiropractor's hands that was here, or that group of chiropractors in the back. There's empty seats here. It's not our job. It's incumbent on us to act like we give a shit and act like we care. It's incumbent on us to lead people. It's not incumbent on us to drag them here. But what I'm telling you is that if we can wake up and remember, the warriors come out, the warriors show up, right? We remember that. So the battle of the soul stops here, right? Take back the control. How much does just throw this out, how much does a snowflake weigh? I have no idea. Not much. Not much. Let's just say not much, right? Micro kilohectares, right? So what's a snowflake's obviously frozen water, so it's an absence of heat, absence of temperature, right? Creates a snowflake. Snowflake's really insignificant, right? Couple snowflakes, no big deal. Snowflakes look all different, right? Okay. I'm not saying we're snowflakes, but we're all different.
Let's just say we.
Let's just say we are.
Yes.
In the good sense, not in the bad sense.
No, Google says there's no way of determining.
That insignificant. I believe it. So let's just say a snowflake gets together with some other snowflakes, right? And what happens? We got these ends. Everybody grab the snowflake next to you, right? It's okay if you don't know him. It's okay if you don't know him. Right? Everyone got their snowflake? Okay. Right? How much does this all weigh? How much does this all weigh? Right? So now watch. Okay? So what? Yeah, you can grab your wine now. I know where we are. It's late. It's getting late. Right? So what happens now? The snowflakes are together, right? They're on a mountainside. Snowball. They're on a mountainside. It gets cold. It gets hot. It gets cold. They kind of get together and they're all cozy, right? And enough of them get together, right? And we got enough incline. We have an avalanche. Now who's stopping us, right? Now who's stopping the avalanche, right? How much power does the avalanche have?
A lot.
Wherever it wants to go. It literally shapes its own path. It shapes its own way. It changes the landscape. It changes the course of the rest of the time avalanches want to go there. All the time, right? Ever changing. There's nothing that can stop it. If you think for 1 second that the group of people that is pulling the strings of the battle for the soul is any more powerful than this group right here, you're sadly mistaken. I guarantee you that this group right here, I guarantee you that we outnumber them 3 or 4 to 1. I guarantee you. And no one's got the fucking heart that we have here. No one's walked on fire. No one's done this stuff. You know what? These empty chairs, I'm sorry, they're out in Buckhead or at Tiger or wherever you guys go now. I don't know where they are, but I know they're not here. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry.
How do you know about Tiger?
I drove by it 2 days ago. And I'm like, that's Tiger. It didn't used to be like that. It didn't used to be that. Right? So we hold the power here because you know what? This has fought the test of time. This has come through all of those years. It's come through brilliant doctors or stupid doctors that doubt us and prove their own selves wrong when they try to disprove us. How many times has that happened? It happens all the time. We prove it every single day. The lies and fakeness that comes from the system that is outside in are so blatant when you see the Matrix. It's like when Neo took the pill and he was like, oh my God, look, this is a joke. Like when he figured it out, do you know when you get that adjustment done or when you have seen the results of what you do, you figured it out and you're like, holy shit, this is it. This is all I have to do. You don't have to make up lies. You don't have to try to influence people. You don't have to try to, skew statistics and do all this stuff to trick people. You just have to show up and be authentic and be you and allow them in. Because if you want to win someone's soul, the best way to do it is to be the example and to be open and to show them the way instead of force them the way. So there you go.
I don't know. I feel like we were right on. No, but here's what I'm going to say is the snowflake. And we're here tonight. I'm just going to reiterate, when you go to Inner Winners, when what that does for you to be able to go back out into the world, because when you're out there talking about this is what chiropractic is, you hold the power. Sometimes you need those people, the snowflakes, to be like, yeah, we got this, and we join together. Yeah. So the importance of coming to evenings like this, going to Inner Winners on a regular basis, going to Life Force, to be able to be like, yeah, I needed this. I needed to feel this. We are the avalanche. We can do this. Yeah. The power in that. Wow. And it's for each one of you to know your voice matters in this. It does matter. Because you take out the snowflake. And if everyone kept taking themselves out, if I say this or whatever it might be, then the avalanche is not going to be the same. Everybody has to show up. It matters.
Shawshank Redemption. Anyone? Okay. If you don't know Shawshank, go watch it. I'm going to give you something to think about. So, Andy Dufresne gets out of. He's in prison for a long time, right? And his buddy Red is also in prison, right? Andy gets out. Red's still in. Guy named Brooks. Remember Brooks? Brooks is a librarian. Brooks identified with being a prisoner. Brooks lived and got back out and got back in and got back out and got back in, and he gets out. Brooks goes to work. Brooks works at the grocery store, doing his thing, living clean. Brooks has identified so much with what the world told him he is. He lost his identity. The last thing that Brooks saw was that rope coming around his neck. He had a beam in his halfway house. He carved his initials or his name and said, Brooks was here. And the last thing he saw was that room. Red gets out. Red goes to the same job, the same place that Brooks had, the same boss, in the same room. And Red's looking at his life, and he's not feeling it. And he feels that inside creeping up like, what? Who am I? I don't know. And you can see he's toying with what's he going to do? What does life look like? And he sees that beam in that room, and he sees Brooks was here, and he knows Brooks. He knew Brooks' heart, and he knows exactly what happened to Brooks. But Red remembered. He remembered something. He remembered that there was a person, his buddy Andy Dufresne, was in prison all those years. And he remembered that Andy had a dream. And Andy knew that his circumstances were wrong. And he paid his price, and he took care of his dream. And he told Red his plan. And Red looked up on that beam, and somehow he thought, he saw his two roads. And he decided, this isn't it. This is not going to be my last view. This isn't going to be where I end. He's going for the dream. He doesn't know. He has no idea. But he knows that this isn't it. His heart tells him something different. His heart tells him that he's not the world. He lives in it. But the world doesn't define him. He gets to define him. He has a way to go. So he goes out. And he follows his dream, not knowing where it's going to take him. He thinks and he remembers. And he sees. And he follows it. And he ends up with Andy on the beach, following his dream. And they both embrace. I'm going to the fucking beach. Who wants to go with me? Go to the beach.
Go on the beach.
River.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I follow up on something that I said earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. That's something that I said earlier, but just following up on what we've been talking about a little bit.
Tell them how your babies were born.
No. And I'm not going to tell you how they got here, or slept with passion or something. Sorry, Mike. When those of us who grew up in the non-chiropractic world, Mike, you grew up that way. I grew up that way. My wife grew up that way.
No, my father went to a chiropractor.
But we had shots when we were kids. Okay? Okay, that was a long time ago. The rationale behind the first generation of immunizations was that they give you a dead attenuated strain of the pathogen to stimulate an antibody response to get the body working. Okay? In their model, it actually works. Okay? When COVID hit, the technology changed. Moderna and Pfizer came out with a new kind of vaccine based on messenger RNA, which screws with you on the genetic level. Okay? We pretty much stopped watching the news for the most part also. I still get the feed on my phone and I'll look at shit. Usually it's football related. 3 weeks ago, guess what they discovered in the London sewers? Polio virus. Do you think it just got there or it's been there the whole fucking time? A week later, they found polio virus in the New York sewers. When they came out with the mRNA-based vaccines, do you know what the researchers said? We're going to find a whole lot of uses for this technology. I'm going to go out on a limb here. All right? I'm going to go out on a limb. They're going to start fucking with us and saying everybody's going to all of a sudden need messenger RNA polio boosters. Okay? Has anybody heard about this? Okay? It may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen at all. But if it does, okay? I think, oh fuck no. I went to the ophthalmologist yesterday because I've got a detached vitreous and I wanted a second opinion. And the lady said to me, "Did you have a flu shot?" "No." "Did you have it?" No. "Oh, okay." But again, I could be 100% off base here, but I could also be right. And in a year or two, if they start saying everybody needs a polio booster shot, watch for it. Okay? Just watch for it. No, of course, you heard it first here. All right? I had to get that off my chest.
Well, thank you. I got it off your chest.
They said with messenger RNA technology, they're going to have a lot of other usages for it. It's the tip of the iceberg.
Now, once we know that, and we don't give any more thought to that, because we cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. We affect the quantum field by the energy, passion we put into it. Bruce and Renee were alluding to the Inner Winners seminar. Let me see something here. Get my stuff together and see what I got going. Here it is. Yep. Pass these around so everybody gets one. Are you all familiar with BJ's book, The Bigness of the Fellow Within?
Yeah.
First chapter, That's Something.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that's what Inner Winners is. It's an experiential training, a transcendence program about touching into that something. And while you're passing that out, we have a few people that went to Inner Winners this last time or even before. And I would like somebody to step and volunteer how they use this week the tools they learned at Inner Winners last week to pass tests, to do whatever they had going. Because I keep talking is that life is never meant to be a struggle. You get to create it yourself. And the idea is, to me, is like you want to move up to another level of consciousness. You don't want to transform. You want to start operating from an innate point of view. So is anybody here could like to share, Austin?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
Okay. Loud and clear.
So I went to Inner Winners and I had a
my dad kind of mentioned this. I had a test the very next day afterwards, and I was like a little bit in my head, like kind of like, okay, how am I going to study for this? What am I going to do? And about halfway through the week, I was just like, you know what? I prepared enough. Whatever happens, happens. I'm going to enjoy this weekend and then go into this test, however it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And me and Val had the same class, and we were taking the same test. And something Val went through that whole weekend was she had a friend that every time they were going through an event, she would go 3, 2, 1. And okay, well I didn't know it was. I'm sorry. Liz would go 3, 2, 1 for every event. And so she came up to me afterwards and was like, for this test, you're going to have to say 3, 2, 1 for her. And we walked in, and I saw Val like was focused on like the model, and she was like, and I could see in her head, she was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh god, oh god. And I was like screaming at her, like the teacher was staring at me, and I was like, Val, Val, Val. And finally I got her attention. I was like 3, 2, 1. And that actually helped me too, because we both anchored down from what we learned at the Interwinters. We were like, okay, let's do this. We're here right now. Let's kill it. And we both passed the test.
We did.
Go ahead.
I rejected.
I like your hair.
Thank you.
Chop it up.
I rejected Interwinters in the beginning because I've paid for and been through a lot of self-development seminars at this point, and I was like, I don't know how much else I can get through it because I never thought I would get anything else. And it really just put me through different situations and different circumstances that pushed me so far out of my comfort zone that I didn't even understand, and really helped me break through barriers. So if you are feeling like you're stuck in life, highly recommend. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is my second Interwinters that I just did. When I got back, I had a test on Monday that I didn't study for until that morning because I didn't think about it all weekend. Had a lot going on, and got a perfect score on it. And also that morning, I woke up and I like affirmations, but I don't typically feel the need to say them out loud all the time. I was like, I just feel like I need to speak this into existence. And so I woke up that morning and I said that abundance is attracted to me. Within an hour, I had a friend text me and say, I have this awesome opportunity for you. I got presented with the opportunity to speak for the GCC and give a philosophy class. And there has been so much abundance that has just been attracting into my life since Interwinters. When you start to get in tune with your innate and listen to everything that's going on around you, and you get to choose exactly how you want to live your life, and you get empowered, and it's just absolutely incredible, and it's a life experience that you'll never, ever, ever forget, and you'll continue to grow in ways that you can't even imagine. Yes.
So I just experienced my first Interwinters. It was life altering in that I came back and my energy had completely transformed into what I didn't know was possible.
Yeah.
I have had in my past anxiety, and this entire couple weeks in fourth quarter with having midterms almost every single day, I have not felt one bit of it, and I have never been so confident in myself in doing what I know that I can do. Woo!
Okay. So I'm a little bit of a vet, and I'm back here. My name is I have been to 3 Interwinters now, so completed my triune, and you're a different person every time you go. So I would recommend for those who have been, who have not been, just open your heart to the possibility of realizing how powerful you are. So when I started, again, I transitioned and I woke up to my power, and I have been constantly reminded through this journey of school as I'm transitioning out
that it's like, oh, like I am in control of my destiny, and I am in the world, but I am not of the world. And I get to dictate how I choose to react to different situations. And Jay always says it's like sharpening the tool. You keep going back, you keep coming to these events to sharpen your tool, because the more you hear it, the more deeply it's ingrained with you. And from this particular Inner Winners, like I gained the piece that it is time to, like, I'm graduating in March, I'm peaking next quarter, literally in 5 weeks. I'm moving to Florida, I sent my peak doc my learning agreement, so it's official, I'm going to Florida. I literally had Oskies, like, the day after I came back, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine, I'll just buy it. I officially passed my Oskies. Passed part 1, 2, 3, and PT board. It's just like, again, you are in control of your destiny. Life doesn't have to be difficult, and be open to the possibilities. So. Yeah.
This was my first Inner Winners too, as Austin and I were together. But I think being like coming back and into midterms, it was amazing to see the difference of like staying in your innate. And I tried hard to get back into anxiety, and not tried hard, but I drove back, and but you just couldn't. I couldn't. There was something just different about me from then on out, and I passed all my tests, and I never thought I like could trust myself to do. So it was just an amazing experience. Highly recommend.
Anybody else?
I feel like I have to follow up with Hannah because Hannah and I got to complete our triune together.
Yeah.
All 3 of them, we did one back to back to back. I feel like I have to say this because I wasn't going to go to the last Inner Winners that I was at. I didn't think that it was in the cards for me. I didn't think that it was something that I needed in this go around. And then a week before it happened, I threw the question out there, and the universe provided, as I've learned it always does. And if anything, these programs have taught me that through and through and through. It is never clear why you're going through what you're going through until something happens where it all clicks and it all makes sense. And that thing that was happening that was so really, really shitty, that had you feeling stuck and hopeless and like you wanted nothing more than that thing to end, was vital to the experience of who you are and who you've become, and it got you to be the person that you are today, and all of those experiences matter. So it sucks to go through it, but damn, do you get to be excited when you get to say, wow, I understand why I went through that, and now I get to help somebody else go through something maybe that was even harder, but you get to be their rock and anchor them through it. And Inner Winners has given me my worth, because it's helped me remember who I am and why I'm here, and that I simply am worthy because I am. And you guys have all of the same potential within you.
Which is unlike me, however.
Yes.
To all my peeps that were there with me, oh my God, I love you so much. Can't even tell you. I went, I knew I needed to go. That was not ever a question. I went with my peeps because I was safe. That was what I needed.
Woo!
Yes, not that. Woo! It was life changing. I've had a lot of life, and I've been through some serious fucking shit.
Yeah.
But it allowed me to like move forward and let go at the same time, and to recognize where it wasn't my space, to be able to take the step and trust, which is not in the past, has not been an easy thing for me to do. There really are no words to the potential that you have. I mean, so my brain goes like this: you've got an exam today, big fucking deal. I walk across fire, like no big deal. I 2.5 days that my brain can't even, well, it now comprehends, but there are really no words to express. No matter how old you are, what stage of life you're in, or what process of life you're in, it is just life-changing.
Devin?
I wanted to go first. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh.
That's my mentor right there, y'all. So cute.
Hug it out. Hug it out.
Hey. So, I actually am the rep for Interwinters. So if you guys have any questions, please come to me. I've been to one Interwinters. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to the last one due to a brain injury. For all that know me, I play rugby and ride horses, so it doesn't come surprisingly. But I will say, getting through the process of recovering from a brain injury, Interwinters helped me secure my foundation, my anchor to know that I can get back to where I was and better. My baseline concussion score before going through all this was an 87. When I took it after the brain injury, it was a 24. Now it's back up to a 97. So my brain is working. For all those that
Even
think it's
better
not.
than most.
Thank you. But yes, Interwinters does honestly miracles and magical events that can't be explained even in this environment. You have to go there and experience it for yourself. Whether you're a chiropractic student, chiropractor, or supporter, it is definitely something that you want to attempt.
You're soon to be chiropractor.
Now, Mr. President.
Honestly, I know a bunch of people have said before, Interwinters is nothing short of life-changing. And I don't use that term lightly in any sort of way. I didn't honestly think, I went into it the same way with Kim. I was like, how much am I really going to get out of this? Words cannot describe the things I was able to experience there. I was originally someone that looked a lot in the past, liked to live in the past, and then Jay told me there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror. And that really put a lot of things in perspective for me. I'm also someone where I like to pretend like I'm a very strong person, hold myself up, and it gave me the opportunity to know that I have people there surrounding me that I can lean on in those times of need whenever I'm there for them. I really appreciate every single one of you for being there, and I cannot support any of you enough from going out and stepping out of your comfort zone and experiencing something absolutely tremendous like Interwinters. I know for sure I will be there at the next one, and I hope to see all of you there as well.
Oh.
I just kind of want to speak on everybody who's talked about their Interwinters experience has really, they've shouted out everybody that they went with, right? Because the relationships that you build at Interwinters, these are relationships for life.
Yeah.
But outside of that, my ability to connect with people and build relationships with anyone coming outside of Interwinters has been incredible. The connections I've made since, Interwinters was life-changing, but the connections that I've been able to make since are also, I can tell, going to be life-changing. And I can thank Interwinters for that ability. So.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I've been to a few Interwinters. And I can literally tell you that Life University is alive because of Interwinters.
Yeah.
Barcelona Chiropractic College is alive because of Interwinters.
Yeah.
Australian Chiropractic College is alive because of Interwinters. And Life West is alive because of Interwinters.
Soon to be Belgium.
What's that?
Soon to be Belgium chiropractic.
There you go. So this is how it happens, using these tools you learn here and making your commitment and doing things and bringing people along in life, and to the ultimate vision of where you want to go. We put on the Interwinters. Jay, Kathy will be there, Sunshine, myself. Bruce and Renee will be there. Larry, who's wandering around here somewhere, he takes care of everything. But what I say to you is that I can't get anybody there. You have to do it. I don't much longer. I'll be around. So if you want to do it, now's the time to do it. If you register before 12 o'clock Monday, you get $150 off on your tuition, room and board. This has never been a money-making thing. We don't do it to make money. We do it to change the world.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose. And so we have doctors that are helping pay scholarships for doctors who have never been to Interwinters before, and even helping doctors who have been down on their luck to have an Interwinter experience. Dr. Mike is a chiropractor. He was at the last Interwinters. Would you like to share anything, Mike?
Come on!
You know, it's wow. I didn't expect this one.
I can stand up there and talk, but when you get to this Interwinter thing, it's like, it's in the soul, you know. This young lady, you know, when I was 3 weeks old, my father died, and I never met him, never knew him. And we did a session, we did a drill, and we had to speak to the person about what you wanted to know or what you wanted to hear, that you would have wanted to hear, you know, from your parents or from whatever. First words out of her mouth were, "I wish I would have been there to see the man that you've become." Ooh. That was words of a man that I never met, that came through her into me, into my soul, and that's what it's all about, guys. I'm telling you, it will touch your soul in a way that you have no idea. And you go and you give everything you can give, and you'll get so much more back. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than that. That's what I got. And this man, the wisdom and the passion that comes out of River is, I can't even describe it. I sat for days and just watched you just feed into us and sow into us and sow into us. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Alex?
I just want to say I went to my second Interwinters, and I walked in not knowing what I was going to receive because I had already been to one before. And the family that I got from that experience was unparalleled to anything that I've ever experienced before. And the amount of growth that you receive, the amount of power and strength that you recognize within yourself, is absolutely amazing. And there is nothing that I could say that could convince you to go. If you feel in your heart right now that you need to go and you're called by all of the testimonies and all of the experiences that are happening, then you need to be there, because there's nothing that I could say that convince you to go. It's honestly one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. And I am so grateful to have met all of the people that I've experienced all of these things with. And I'm so grateful for the Ribley family, for and the Stevens family, for the role that they have played in my awakening towards my inner power and my connection to innate. To be able to give that to other people and facilitate that in other people. So I encourage you to turn off your educated mind and step into your power and step into that experience of that weekend.
Well, we have 10 people that will be able to take advantage of this discount if they want it. If 10 people do not make reservations for it, then it won't be an Interwinters room. That's where it comes down to. It's all up to you. If you want this, we're here to serve you. And that's all of us. The other thing is Spizz night. We've been doing this for like 5 years on BJ, 6 years.
Yeah.
So
Time flies when you're having a good time.
yes, yes. Every quarter we do this. And where's everybody at? You have too much philosophy. You don't need any more. See? You know, I mean,
No such thing.
where is it? It's to me. It's like we're here. We want to give. do you want to take? See? You want to grow?
Yes.
You want to get this understanding? I mean, this is what it comes down to, you know? And see, I don't buy, I think the pandemic thing that we just had is the greatest thing that ever happened. Because it's ushering in a whole new world, a new state of consciousness. We're that one that's going to facilitate the change. We are the ones, the chiropractors. We're the ones that have the faith and understanding. BJ said the most important thing you can do is awaken to that innate, the God within, and let it become the guiding force in your life. That's the most important thing you can do. If you came into chiropractic and you just got that one message, that's all you need. And that's what the whole thing about inner winters is, arriving to a level of consciousness that you live a divine life, innate within. The God within, expressing it out into a world. That's what BJ's life was about. That's how Life University was founded, Life College of Chiropractic, based on that. Lasting purpose. What is the lasting purpose? To do the will of God. To love, serve, giving, doing out of your own abundance. And everybody, when they say it, they usually leave out to do the will of God.
Out of abundance.
See?
With no expectation of anything in return.
See, the key thing is to surrender to the divine innate within you. Surrendering it and creating a world now from that position. And thing to me is like every day you wake up in the morning and you say thank you for coming into chiropractic, so that you are introduced to these principles of understanding to live your life. Life was not meant to be a struggle. And when you hear the stories of people say, you know what? I took the exam, I passed it, I did this, I did this, I did this. The struggles are what stop you from moving forward. You have a subluxation, you go to a chiropractor, he adjusts it, right? You have a flow of energy now. What happens when you're subluxated up here? Through the media. And you come to inner winters and make an adjustment, we reconnect you back to your source, and your life changes. But what's going to happen after a short time? Just like when you're subluxated in your spine there and you interfere with the nerves. Because we live on a physical plane and there's restriction. You have falls, injuries, things happen, and you get checked again and you get adjusted when necessary. What happens about the subluxation that BJ said that's up here? He says, because there's a way to take and correct that. Because the media is out there giving you this stuff. That's what BJ was talking about. This is Bruce was talking about. This is Renee. They're out there to steal your soul. To take away what you are. This individual aspect of universal intelligence. So we invite you all. We're going to have some pizza here, socialize, and if you want to come, this is the time to sign up. We need you to sign up if we're going to do the program. Okay. Okay, free time.